This is episode 4 of the Be Happy Abroad podcast, in which we are jumping headfirst into the truly enriching and empowering topic of signature strengths. What are they? Why is it valuable to know them? And how do they show up in your life currently? Have fun listening to this episode and let me know what inspired you the most. Let's get started. Hello and a warm welcome to Be Happy Abroad, how to live a fulfilling and meaningful life as an international. My name is Franziska Luxoy and I'm your host. Each week we explore proven strategies and insights to help you adapt, connect and thrive abroad, no matter where in the world you are. Make sure to subscribe on your favorite platform so you don't miss out. And without further ado, let's dive right in. I have recently visited the Lego house in Billund, Denmark, with my family. Apart from having lots of fun, inspiration, and letting our inner child out, playing, there is also one specific thing that stuck with me. Every visitor got a small bag of 6 red 8-stud Lego bricks as a gift, along with a small card on how to build these 6 red bricks. On that card, it says that this particular combination is unique. Every single visitor, a unique combination, from something as simple as 6 red 8-stud Lego bricks. Now, do you know how many unique combinations are possible? Take a guess. It is 915,104,765 from only 6 simple Lego bricks. Isn't that fascinating? Okay, why am I telling this? Well, think about it. You can build that many unique combinations from something as simple as 6 identical Lego bricks. And one of the challenges of internationals is they doubt their value, how they can contribute, how they can have the impact they want to have, how to stand out. And this is how, by being super aware and by embracing your unique combination of strengths, values, beliefs, personality traits, skills that make you, you. Every single little aspect of yourself stacks up to the bigger picture, just like Lego bricks stack up to countless amazing creations. Even if you just have 6 simple red 8-stud bricks, this stacks up to almost 1 billion unique combinations. So the work that is to do here is take some time to figure out what makes you unique, what makes you stand out, embrace it, embody it, and use it as a source of self-worth and self-confidence that you might be lacking after you move abroad. Now, there are of course many facets to this process, and it is not a switch you just flip. As I said before, you need to take time to figure it all out. And in this episode, we are focusing on one aspect that I use a lot in my work with clients and in my programs. First, a little reflection. When you introduce yourself, or when you answer questions like, introduce yourself in your own words. Who are you? What are you good at? How do you typically answer? What was your immediate response? Did you answer based on something internal, something that's inside of you, or external factors based on roles you've held in the past, tasks you have mastered? Many times we answer from the perspective of knowledge or competencies that we have acquired, maybe what we have studied, which roles we have held earlier, and what those enable us to do now. In an international setting, we maybe also include our country of origin, our nationality, maybe which languages we speak, which is an acquired competence as well. And yes, these are all important, especially in a career-related setting. And yes, the combination of these also contribute to your unique profile. But an aspect that often is overlooked in this context are your values, your strengths, your dreams. Introducing yourself from that perspective definitely triggers people's interest and will result in enriching conversations, also in personal settings. One of the questions you would be asked in almost any job interview, right in the beginning, is to tell a little bit about yourself, in your own words. A short introduction. It is also something that you're confronted with in most social settings, when you're meeting up with a new group of people for the first time. The way I always would have answered that earlier is exactly what I just mentioned above. I'm originally from Austria, have lived abroad for a couple of years. I studied a double master degree in international business and management, have work experience in HR, mostly recruiting, also in change management and business development, etc. This is basically what a recruiter can also read in my CV. And in a social setting, it really is a bit boring. If someone asks this question, and that applies to recruiters as much as to any different setting, the background is that they want to find out more about you, learn something about you, and frankly, what I just summed up above, how much does that tell about me? About who I am as a person, about what makes me tick and stand out. So let's rephrase the question. Tell me more about yourself a bit into several more specific questions. What are your dreams? What really matters to you? What are your personal strengths? Now, how would you answer these questions? Could you even answer them right away? Today, we are exploring something related to the last question, strengths, and a strength-based perspective. You can use the insights of this episode to sharpen your profile for job hunting, but really this goes much deeper. Here are 3 key benefits you can expect from focusing on your strengths. First of all, they are a source of enhanced well-being. Coming from a place of strength increases the sense of authenticity, alignment, and purpose. Things start feeling easier and lighter. You feel more accomplished because things work for you. Research has found that people who use their strengths a lot are 18 times more likely to be flourishing in life than those who do not use their strengths. Secondly, it lets you feel a higher degree of engagement. In episode 2, I talked about the PERMA model, and engagement is also an important factor for well-being and flourishing. Applying your strengths enables you to get into flow, to be really absorbed in an enjoyable way by an activity, and this has an impact if you're thriving in life as well. And a third really important benefit for a life abroad is improved resilience, the ability to bounce back from adversity, adapt to challenges, and keep going in the face of adversity. Coming from a place of your inherent strengths, you can find innovative solutions to problems, maintain a more positive outlook, and navigate your challenges with more ease. This list could continue, but for the purpose of this episode, I just picked 3 benefits that I consider really important for a life abroad, for an international life. And the challenge here starts with most people not even being aware of their innate strengths. According to a study from 2008, we are talking about a staggering 2/3 of people who cannot communicate what their signature strengths are. This has a huge impact on the awareness of who they are and what they're capable of, which in turn affects performance and flourishing both on the job and in life. You might have noticed that I mentioned personal strengths and inherent strengths several times. What we're talking about here are your character strengths, strengths that really inherently are part of you. That is what makes being aware and applying them so powerful. Generally, there is a lot of focus on our weaknesses, on becoming better at what we are struggling with. Think about the school system, in most traditional schools at least. If a child is struggling with, let's say, math, teachers and parents will focus on getting the child up to speed in math. And while it is of course relevant to learn some basics in most subjects, it is also quite hard to have so much focus on what's not going well. It has an impact on self-confidence and self-worth. Starting from childhood. Focusing more on strengths and capitalizing on them really pays off. And focusing on them can even be a benefit when you're working on something that you consider your weakness, because coming from a perspective of strength makes even improving a weakness more enjoyable and lighter. So, what are those character strengths? It is a concept developed by the field of positive psychology. There are 24 strengths that describe what is best in human beings. So, every single one of these is good, a desirable characteristic, a strength, and each of us has them to a higher or lesser degree. The 24 strengths are grouped into 6 virtues, where each virtue comprises between 3 and 5 strengths. This concept is the result of many years of scientific study. The steps to work with these character strengths is to first know your personal character strengths and then to apply them in different ways. So now you're probably wondering, how do I find out what my strengths are? One way is to take an online test on viacharacter.org. That is the official website of the Institute on Character, and you can find a lot of background and extra material on that page as well. Taking the test is free, but you have to create an account on the website to take it. You'll find a direct link to that website on the episode page. Another way is to do a personal reflection and be guided through identifying your strengths. The upside of this way is that you go through the process more consciously, you reflect on the different virtues and strengths, and this gives you a feeling of ownership and empowerment. If you're intrigued by this way of doing it, reach out to me at podcast@behappyabroad.com or directly book your complimentary session through the link in the show notes. In both scenarios, we are talking about a self-evaluation. So you are answering a number of questions about yourself and thereby creating your own result. In the case of taking the test, the questions are more situation-based. For example, I experience deep emotions when I see beautiful things. I am always coming up with new ways to do things. Or I have many interests. You are evaluating these statements on a 5-point scale, reaching from very much like me to very much unlike me. In the case of the guided process, you are actually picking first a virtue and then the individual strengths in a certain order by reflecting explicitly which ones you most resonate with. One important thing is, and this is especially true if you take the test, is to not use this concept to limit yourself or put yourself or others in a box, like with any kind of personality test. What you're looking for and getting with this insight is not a definite label, rather, it is an invitation to explore yourself and others more in depth, to arrive at something that resonates with you deeply and that serves as a source of self-confidence and self-worth. That is also why, personally, I believe that there is a benefit in taking both evaluations, the test and the guided one, because it opens up different perspectives upon your strengths. The VIA Institute actually supports this view, as they also emphasize the importance of confirming the top strengths. So instead of just taking the result of the test as the final answer, it is only a basis for reflection, and then you need to confirm which ones actually are your top strengths. Now, let's delve into a few questions that can help you in two ways, both in uncovering your strengths and in how far they resonate, and in becoming clear on your current usage of these strengths. How present are they in your daily life, and in which ways? Every person has a few strengths that are the so-called signature strengths. In this context, you will have a sense of ownership and authenticity. Being presented with that strength, you have that immediate sense of, yes, that is so me. Thinking about this strength, do you feel that it is really essential to who you are? Or if you have taken the test and are presented with a ranking of your strengths, which of these top strengths are most core to who you are and define you as a person? And what if we took it away? How would you feel about that? Would you lose a part of yourself, a part of who you are? And you see here, these are really questions about identity. This is how the top strengths in your specific combination make you you. They make you unique. There are countless applications of character strengths in the different areas of life, and one really powerful thing are so-called character strengths interventions. Measurements you can take specifically based on your strengths that help you increase your well-being and how much you flourish and thrive in every area of your life. For now, I will leave you with two specific action points. The first one is, surprise, if you want to get full value of having listened to this episode, find out what your signature strengths are. And second, observe yourself for the upcoming week or several weeks in the different domains or area of your life. So at work, at school, social and intimate relationships, family relationships, community, etc. Whatever applies to you. And then evaluate in how far your signature strengths show up in each of them. Now you know what they are, but if others saw your actions, would they be able to identify them? If not, how can you bring them into play even more? I hope you find this process and the discoveries you have about yourself truly enriching, so that you can embrace your uniqueness, made up by the many individual characteristics stacked up, just like the Lego bricks, resulting in so many unique combinations. This was Be Happy Abroad, How to Live a Fulfilling and Meaningful Life as an International. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, leave us a review and share it with your international friends so they too can embark on a journey to fill their life abroad with freedom, joy, love, and happiness.